Puma Kyle, yes, that is a nickname that Hitch gave to me.
Yeah.
And it's stuck a little bit, at least around these parts.
But what happens if you move? We'll cross that bridge.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe like, what if you went to McDonald's? You've been
I guess
McDonald's Kyle.
I guess McDonald's would be better than Big Mac Kyle. But
Big Mac Kyle. Well, there we go. We've got it there.
I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there.
I like to start these podcasts off in a relaxed manner, no fancy intro or anything like that. And I think we've just done that. We've well established that relaxed start. So I'm delighted to be joined by who we in the community know as Puma Kyle, but to your friends and family, you are known as Kyle Swords. So welcome to the podcast, sir. Thank you for joining me.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So as your nickname suggests, you are quite heavily involved with Puma, which kind of brings into your involvement with the Chupacabras. Puma, worldwide brand, don't really need to do much of an introduction to who they are, but you guys work with some of the biggest soccer teams worldwide, yeah?
Yeah, we have, as we call, global brands. So, your Man City, your AC Milan, your BVB, and there's others, but those are usually the big ones that most people recognize quickly.
Yeah, we've got plenty of those kind of jerseys up in the Pro Roll Soccer Shop. Plenty of the World Cup jerseys for this summer as well have been made by you guys. And of course, the Chupacabras gear, of which I'm wearing. If you're watching at home on YouTube, I'm wearing the brand new home jersey, which by the time this podcast comes out will be available to purchase for $85, or you can include it in your season tickets, premium and VIP. Have I got that locked down?
Sounded good to me.
Excellent. I'm happy with that. Connor will approve of that. But then we also have these wonderful jerseys behind us. We'll get onto that in a second and kind of talk about how the sausage gets made, per se. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to know how all of this started off. This relationship with Michael Hitchcock, this relationship with the Chupacabras. It's a bit of an unknown to have such an amazing brand like Puma in USL too. So how did all of that start off?
It's a bit of a long story, so bear with me a little bit here. I'll see how short I can keep it. So I started with Puma, I believe it was February 2016.
Oh,
so
10 years.
10 years ago.
Wow.
And I came from another business that was heavily involved in the game. Mm-hmm. But when I started with Puma, I was introduced to Michael Hitchcock, Hitch, because of the Fort Worth Vaqueros relationship. They were already in Puma, and so that was really the only relationship that we had, the only team that I was working with that had Hitch involved. Mm-hmm. And then as that kind of progressed over meetings and different things, we got to talking like, hey, where did you grow up? Where did you play? I didn't really know Hitch's backstory, which is fascinating on its own right. But long story short, he played at VCU, which is in Richmond, Virginia. I played at James Madison, which is in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And we crossed over by 2 or 3 years. So we figured out that we actually played against one another
really?
In the collegiate game, many, many moons ago, as they would say. So that's kind of where that started. And then as Hitch started to get involved with more and more teams and different groups, we had a good relationship with the Vaqueros. Then came, and I'm going to get them out of order, but then kind of came Lubbock Matadors, mm-hmm. and then the one that really took off, at least on the merch side, was Appalachian FC.
Yeah.
And then as more and more grew, and then he came to me and was asking about how do we get a different account. It's more like an accounting thing. It's more of a logistics thing of how to get it set up, because he was going to think about having this lifestyle soccer. Well, at first it was a print shop, and then it was a lifestyle soccer shop. Mm-hmm. And as things have grown, and then he came to me and he's like, I think I'm going to put a team right here in our backyard, because I'm local to this area as well, in the northern DFW suburbs. And I was like, yeah, I think it's a great idea. Let's do it. And so we'd already had some of these relationships already. Mm-hmm. So doing another one of Hitch's teams was fantastic, especially being local. So it made it a lot easier to see it and feel it more than just kind of see it on social media and know what happens, across the city, across the state, across the country.
Yeah.
So it's been a great relationship.
Yeah, and how different is that? I mean, you might need to actually scale things back a little bit and talk about kind of your overall job description, but at least from my side of it, I'm seeing that you have a relationship with Manchester City and a relationship with McKinney Chupacabras, and I'm wondering, there's got to be, of course, some similarities, but a whole lot of differences in how that relationship is managed.
Yeah, it's quite different. But how we have the PUMA North America and how we have it set up is that we have a senior director who oversees everything nationally with inside, we call it team sport, but inside the soccer channel. And then there are 10 reps that cover the country. So I live in the Dallas market, but I cover Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Colorado, New Mexico. So that's my territory. But I still, based on how teams buy, depending on what retailer they go to and those sorts of things, I have clubs from Chicago to, to like Appalachian FC, so coast to coast and north to south.
Yeah.
But we, the reps, are calling on specialty stores, so your Soccer Posts of the world, Soccer Cities of the world, and working with everything from McKinney Soccer Association, the little guys in the rec groups, all the way up to professional levels.
Yeah.
So we kind of cover everything. Now, your Man Cities of the world have like a direct relationship with PUMA. There's someone assigned just to that account. So it would be like having someone only managing Chupacabras, and that's all they did.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's no surprise that Chupacabras are not as big as Manchester City and Citigroup worldwide, so we don't quite need that. But I handle many groups, and Chupacabras is just one of many.
And look, you mentioned that it's kind of nice to be a little bit more hands-on. But how is that as a guy that's local to the DFW area to be a little bit more involved with the team and certainly see it grow from literally a little baby up to kind of what we are now going into season 2? Does that make your job a little bit more fun?
A little bit, because I get to see how the fans and how the public receive it. Good and bad.
Yeah.
I don't have too much say in the design of the jerseys. I give my 2 cents to Hitch. I think I'm part of his, group that, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I think he takes my 2 cents wherever he takes everyone else's. So in that way, it's nice because, when it comes to the Annapolis Blues or Appalachian or even Lubbock, like I don't really get as much feedback.
Yeah.
And sometimes feedback, it's even better to be nonverbal. So when you're at the release party of the jersey and you see people's natural reaction to it, then it's fair, versus someone can send you an email and be like, oh yeah, we love the jerseys in XYZ city.
Yeah.
Well, they can just write that. Doesn't mean they actually feel it. But here you can see that, I'm at a lot of the events because they're just here in downtown McKinney, at Tups or wherever they may host them. And so I've been able to kind of, I like to stay in the background. This might ruin that a little bit. But I like to stay in the background and just kind of observe.
Yeah. And I feel like what you probably have observed over the last year and a half is overwhelmingly positive feedback to all of the merchandise. The first year jersey, very different to the one that I'm wearing now, but all the same received really, really well. And that must be quite, like if this podcast receives a couple of comments, I love it. It's quite heartwarming. It's quite nice to see people have a positive reaction. Yep. And it must be the same for you, but like you say, when you're seeing the reactions of people's, and how they're reacting to these, new jerseys and new kits and stuff, that must be a really cool part of the job.
Yeah, it is. It is. And Hitch and his team will come to me with, all these ideas and crazy ideas. And it's my job to put the guardrails on those to say, this is doable, that's not doable. We need to know by this date if you really want them by that date.
Yeah.
And I have to kind of put the logistics behind it. And sometimes we can push the envelope a little bit and sometimes we have to pull back. But hopefully I'm helping the timing and the process, because I don't think people totally know how the sausage is made. And as we joke about, is like, I don't think that there are people out there sometimes, I think they think there's magic fairies in the factory that are just making jerseys. So how can they not have another medium of this style?
Yeah.
It's like, well, we didn't plan for a medium 6 months ago when all the orders were put in. And as Puma, we take all the orders and collectively group them all together. So if we need a blue, navy blue, certain style, we've collected every medium that's even thought of plus extra. But if we run out of all those plus the extra, sometimes that's where we're at.
And you've heard that first. You've heard it here first, folks, that if you've not got your season tickets, get them, because these jerseys are in short supply, including the ones that we have behind us. What has that kind of process been like, working with McKinney, working with Connor, our business operations manager, to make what we have behind us here visible? I'm trying to look at them at the same time as talking into the microphone, so I might cut out for a second, but essentially we have our community kit and our new, I believe, the warm-up jersey. Perhaps it might be the travel jersey. I'm not too sure. But kind of what was that process like, working with Connor, working with Hitch, working with the team to try and get this turned around in the last few months?
Yeah, so it really has nothing to do with the last few months, ironically. So in a week, I'm going to be in Boston. That's where Puma's headquarters are for North America. Yeah. I'll be in Boston in a week, in the 1st of May. I will get the preview of everything that we'll be releasing in the spring and summer of 2027, from footwear to new team kits. And then when I come back, I will have samples delivered to me, and then I will be meeting with Connor and Hitch, and we will start talking about 2027 and the numbers and what colors and which styles are going to work and which ones aren't going to work, and what do we want to do for the home kit, the away kit? Is there any special edition kits we want to do? Yeah. What is the community jersey? What is the travel? I mean, all of those things are basically decided in May and June of this season. Yeah. And we put in what we call bulk order for all the inline stuff. We have all these bulk orders, and we basically have to guess based on previous and what we're feeling and how many units will we actually think we need. And so we put in these orders then. Wow. That's how soon it happens. And so then everything gets produced and made, and then once we get closer to the season, we really know, okay, this jersey really sold well. We really like this one, that one. And we can adjust the orders as we go along. For sure. But to really have certain jerseys in like the January, February, March timeframe, we have to put the orders in 6 to 7 months ahead of time. Wow. Yeah.
Which means the World Cup jerseys, are readily available now to everyone. That process must have started, well over a year ago at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, of all the federations we have, the one that is probably the largest, we'll call it commercially, is Portugal. Yeah. And the jerseys have been well received. And, you got Ronaldo, who is wearing the jersey most likely for the last time in the World Cup, but who knows?
Who knows?
That guy seems like he's made of a different matter than the rest of us. So maybe he'll play in 4 years. But so it's been very high demand, but a lot of the stores, we had orders 6-7 months ago for what they were expecting, and then reorders and reorders and reorders, and we as North America had such a good response that we were able to put in more orders, and those will be delivered literally right before the tournament starts. Awesome. But all of those, even though they're not here yet, a lot of them are already sold to different specialty stores because they were already looking. And so even though they're not even here yet, they're already earmarked and sold to a lot of the stores across the country.
I think that's testament to the anticipation of the excitement that is set to come, not just to DFW, but the entirety of North America and South America, the entire world. The World Cup is coming. The summer of soccer is coming. Where are your excitement levels away from work? I'm sure stress levels are through the roof, but what about you as a fan of the sport? How are you setting yourself?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm kind of, it's kind of a mixed bag. Okay. Meaning, the last time the World Cup was here, it changed everything. I was in college playing when it was here the last time, and was busy and running around at home trying to get the summer job so I could get back to college, and there were no games near where I grew up, so didn't catch any matches or anything. Yeah. So now living in DFW and seeing that Dallas is having the most matches of everyone, hopefully I will find myself inside a stadium once or twice. But I'm excited even more so just for the buzz around the fan fest areas and the watch parties and the different events that'll be happening, not just at the stadium but all across the city. Yeah, that's really where my excitement lies.
And we'll be having watch parties down here at Tups Brewery. I'd like to think by the time this podcast comes out that we've officially announced, but if not, there we go. We'll be showing all 104 games down at Tups Brewery of this tournament, of which I'm not meant to be saying the name of it multiple times.
Yep. The big soccer tournament.
The big soccer tournament,
yeah.
Of which hopefully England will be on the winning side of, but we'll see if that actually happens. But will you be in and around the McKinney area at some of these events that we have?
I imagine that I will be. I can't tell you exactly which ones.
No, of course.
I don't know that as of yet, but yeah, I mean, I plan on being out trying to catch as many games as possible, while at the same time still trying to, do the job, because it will be stressful and people, I'm sure, will be looking for not only all the club business and USL2 business and all the different groups that we already manage and handle every year as a normal year. Yeah. But on top of that, there might be people looking for Portugal and Ivory Coast and Ghana and all these other federations that we have an association with, and it might get a little busy.
Well, I'm excited for that. Hopefully we'll see you down at a few of the Chupacabra games at Rompo. Will you be there May 16th? I'm putting you on the spot here.
Ooh.
It's the home opener.
That I don't know as of right now, only because I'll know a lot more once I go to Boston first week of May. But yeah,
well,
maybe.
So.
Well, I also have daughters who are collegiate athletes. They both play lacrosse.
Oh wow!
And so I'm hoping that they're both in the NCAA tournament on said weekend. So that might be where I'm located at that time too.
We will forgive you if you cannot make it.
I made a match last year. It took me a while. I think I was either at the last or second to last match. It took me a while to, work out the scheduling, but I do like to attend the matches.
Well, let's hope to see you down at Rompo Stadium later on this summer. Kyle, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone at home for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow along, and make sure to get your hands on all of this brand new Puma merchandise. The links will be in the description. But for now, from both of us here at the Stuff.io studios, it's thank you and goodbye.